Hello everyone, it's Michelle Lupton here, and today I am bringing you another card for Case Me a Christmas card. Today my very special guest is Cathy Zielski. So I have chosen a card of hers where she used a really cool technique. My card doesn't really look exactly like hers, different layout, different colours, but I used a very similar technique. So I'm starting with the tree from the Wishing You Tree bundle from Hero Arts, and I'm just laying it there just so I can get a rough idea of where the edges of the tree are, but I want my masking tape to sort of surround the tree. I'm just using my glass craft mat to sort of line up that masking tape so it's kind of even on either side. And then I'm going to just take some smaller pieces of this mint tape and mask off the bottom bit. And once I've got the bottom edge of the tree masked off, I will then start adding some colour, but with even more masking. I didn't realise at this point that I was about to run out of the mint tape, so you'll see that a little bit later on. Anyway, the card that I'm casing today is this one. So you can see that Cathy has actually used masking tape to mask off little triangles in her background that she's used ink blending to add some colour in these blocks, these triangular blocks. And then she stamped an outline image, in her case of some flowers, over the top, and then added a sentiment over the top of that. Now, she's added a lovely little mat so that it's not taking up the whole card front, but I've got a much larger image than her, so I haven't done that. Now, these are the Distress Oxide inks I'm going to be using. So we start with Abandoned Coral, and you can see I've masked off just a little bit at the top, and I'm going to just do two triangles of that. And you can see I'm just moving the mask to overlap the previous area, and then I'm going to move on to the next colour, which is Saltwater Taffy. But I'm, going to blend that Saltwater Taffy over the Abandoned Coral that's already there. So the only harsh line is going to be the bottom edge of the masked area. Okay, now that I've done with the Saltwater Taffy, I've got the dried Marigold. And then the next one I'm going to be using is a Fossilized Amber. You can see that when I'm moving the masking tape, I'm trying not to make it really regular, just to have things going sort of higgledy-piggledy, not always in the same direction. Just to give it a little bit of interest. So here comes the Fossilized Amber, and once I've done with Fossilized Amber, which is sort of in between orange and yellow, I find, I'll be moving on to the Squeezed Lemonade. Now, you can see that this piece of masking tape I'm using over and over and over again, and it's getting a little bit too short. So now I've got the Twisted Citron, and then I'll be moving on to Mowed Lawn. And yeah, my piece of masking tape became a bit too short at a little bit, just in a bit. So I'm only using it half here. So here I have the Peacock feathers, and then I'm moving on to Salty Ocean. So I actually moved the masking tape for this one. But yeah, that wasn't going to cut it for the bottom of this, so I actually managed to get just the last bit of masking tape from my roll and just stuck them together. And that's what I used for the rest of it, but that was the absolute end of my roll of masking tape. Now I've got Salty Ocean for my blue, and then down the bottom I will have the Wilted Violet. So I'm just going to go onto the bottom edge of the actual tree, and then moving on in the purple to sort of the stump of the tree, the sort of the very, very bottom edge of the tree, which is kind of like on this stamp, it doesn't look like the trunk of the tree. It kind of looks like little curly cues. Very cute. It's my it's probably my favourite Christmas tree stamp of all time. I love this stamp, and I've used it so often at Christmas time. Anyway, so now comes the big reveal, is removing all of this masking tape. Trying to be careful because I really don't want to pull up any of the cardstock at this point, but I mean, that's unlikely with mint tape. It's nice and very, very low tack tape, so I'm unlikely to tear the top, but always be careful just in case. All right, so now I've got my card front and my Christmas tree stamp in my mini Misty, and I'm using some Altenew Obsidian ink here. The reason I'm using this ink is because I've used Distress Oxide ink. It has a pigment property, so adding pigment ink over the top is the best way to get a really good impression. Now, I actually missed showing you the die here. This is the Merry Wafer Thin die from CZ Design and Simon Says Stamp. I cut it from some black glitter cardstock and layered it on some white and popped it on my card, and that's it. So thank you very much to Cathy for being my guest today, and I hope you enjoyed seeing me make this card. I'll see you next time. Bye.